नमस्ते। आज 7:30 बजे लाइव कर रहा हूं और मेरे साथ लाइव आज मैं स्टूडियो से नहीं कर रहा हूं। मैं एक बाहर की लोकेशन है वहां पे आके कर रहे हैं लाइव। मेरे साथ मिस्टर रवि नायर साहब हैं। मिस्टर रवि नायर साहब की जो लेटेस्ट बुक है वो अगर आपने देखी होगी, द रफाल डील फ्लाइंग लाइज। इट इज अ कंप्लीट डॉक्यूमेंट ऑन हाउ द रफाल डील वेंट ऑन। रफाल डील कैसे हुई, उसमें देश के हित में क्या हुआ और क्या अहित में हुआ। लंबी किताब है। लेकिन आज मैं आग्रह ये कर रहा हूं कि रवि नायर साहब का एक लंबा पत्रकारिता का भी एक्सपीरियंस है। केरल से जन्म लेके कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड में कुछ दिन रह के अब दिल्ली में रह के ये टोटल जर्नलिज्म करते हैं, लेकिन ये हमारा वाला जर्नलिज्म नहीं करते हैं। ये इन्वेस्टिगेटिव जर्नलिज्म करते हैं। 5, 6, 8 महीना बहुत मेहनत से कुछ स्टोरी करते हैं और फिर उसकी जड़ तक पहुंचते हैं। मैं कंपैरिजन नहीं कर रहा हूं, लेकिन आम आदमी के लिए वो थोड़ा जैसे हिंडनबर्ग की रिपोर्ट आई, बहुत से लोगों को लगता है हिंडनबर्ग ने गलत काम किया, लेकिन हिंडनबर्ग ने 2-2.5 साल उस पर काम किया था। वो उसका एक रिपोर्ट थी जिसके अनुसार उसको ऐसा लगता था कि अडानी जी के शेयर बहुत हाई प्राइस थे। उसको उन्होंने, जब रिपोर्ट आई और वो सही में शेयर्स गिरे, और अभी तक उस रिपोर्ट को किसी ने, जो भी अफेक्टेड पार्टी थी, किसी कोर्ट में आज तक वो रिपोर्ट चैलेंज नहीं हुई है। रवि नायर साहब का जो एक लेटेस्ट है, अडानी साहब के जो चाइनीज पार्टनर हैं उस पे इन्होंने बहुत काम किया है और उस पे इन्होंने काफी दस्तावेज, लॉट ऑफ डॉक्यूमेंट्स आर देयर विच ऑल इज इन पब्लिक डोमेन। वो मैं जब अभी इनसे बात करूंगा तो इनसे पूछूंगा। और एक आपको याद और दिला दूं, क्योंकि बहुत सी चीजें हैं इसको बताने के लिए। वो आप लोग जब जो भी क्वेश्चन पूछना चाहेंगे, आप उसके बाद, मैं चाहूंगा कि बीच में भी आप क्वेश्चन पूछते चलेंगे तो इट विल बी मोर इंटरेस्ट। रोज तो मैं एक इस फॉर्मेट में करता ही हूं। मैं एक चीज और आग्रह करूंगा कि याद करिएगा, एक श्रीलंका में भी कुछ हुआ था। श्रीलंका एक बुरे दौर से गुजरा था, आर्थिक मंदी की उनके यहाँ बहुत समस्या हुई थी, वर्चुअली कोलैप्स हो गया था सब कुछ। और उस समय श्रीलंका के मिनिस्टर से आपने एक इंटरव्यू किया था, और जहां पे उन्होंने कहा था कि किस तरह से हमारे नेतृत्व ने अडानी जी को कुछ फेवर करने के लिए कहा था। ये ऑन रिकॉर्ड्स हैं ये सब बातें। तो नायर साहब, वेलकम टू लखनऊ।
Thank you so much.
एंड नायर साहब, आई मस्ट से you are the tallest person in this room. Not only in this room, I mean, you're very tall, which I was not knowing. Personally speaking, physically I'm meeting him for the first time. तो नायर साहब, we start with what happened. ये जो अभी चीन वाली बात थी, मैं हिंदी अंग्रेजी करता रहूंगा क्योंकि मेरे ज्यादा दर्शक जो हैं वो हिंदी वाले हैं और उनको ऐसा लगता है। नायर साहब हिंदी पूरी समझ लेते हैं, बोल भी मुझसे अच्छी लेते हैं, लेकिन चूंकि बात कहने में आसानी रहती है इनको अंग्रेजी में, तो इसलिए इनको ये अंग्रेजी में भी जवाब देते रहेंगे। नायर साहब, शुरू ये करते हैं कि ये जो चीन कनेक्शन है ना, आज हम लोगों को चीन का नाम लेके भाई इसलिए दिक्कत होती है कि चीन ने हमारे 62 में हमें जो काम किया हमारे साथ, उसका हमें आज भी याद है वो दुख। फिर चीन ने जो अभी हाल में गलवान में किया 2020 मार्च में, उसमें भी उस समय ऐसा लगा कि हम लोगों के साथ कुछ मतलब अनप्रोवोक्ड चीज हुई है। और अभी हम लोग उसको माने या ना माने आधिकारिक सूत्र से, लेकिन चीन ने हमारे जो पेट्रोलिंग के राइट्स थे, जहां तक हम जाते थे प्री मई 2020 तक, वहां तक अब हम नहीं जा सकते हैं। हमारी कुछ जगहें भी ऐसी हैं जहां तक उन्होंने हमें आने से रोक रखा है। इस सारे उसमें जब आप बात करते हैं तो आप ये चाइनीज कंपनी की अडानी जी से क्या रिलेशनशिप है, उसको अगर ब्रीफली आप बता देंगे तो हाउस ओपन हो जाएगा, और अगर इनके मन में कुछ प्रश्न होगा तो ये आपसे पूछते रहेंगे।
इसका बैकग्राउंड थोड़ा सा लंबा है। एक कंपनी है, कंपनी का नाम है पीएमसी प्रोजेक्ट इंडिया प्राइवेट लिमिटेड। तो थोड़ा सा एक कंपनीज की बात करेंगे तो थोड़ा सा टेक्निकल हो जाएगा मामला, सो माफ कीजिएगा, आपको कुछ डाउट बीच में है तो पूछ सकते हैं। पीएमसी प्रोजेक्ट इंडिया प्राइवेट लिमिटेड 2005 में स्थापित हुआ था, अहमदाबाद में रजिस्टर्ड है। इसका उस टाइम द फर्स्ट डायरेक्टर इस कंपनी का था डॉक्टर मलाई महादेविया। वो मिस्टर अडानी का चाइल्डहुड फ्रेंड है। 1993-94 से लेके अडानी ग्रुप के साथ है। and they're very close. Mr. Adani and Mr. Mahadevia are very close. So he was the first director. When this company was formed, a company जब form किया था 2005 में, उसका डॉक्यूमेंट्स जब हम ढूंढना शुरू किया था, पता चला एक फुल्ली इंडियन कंपनी नहीं है. एक कंपनी इंडिया में रजिस्टर हुआ है, लेकिन इसका ऑनरशिप इंडिया में नहीं है. इट इज अ होल्डिंग. इसका जो होल्डिंग कंपनी है वो मॉरिशस में रजिस्टर्ड है. वो कंपनी का नाम था प्रोजेक्ट मॉनिटरिंग एंड कंस्ट्रक्शन लिमिटेड. एक साल के बाद जब पहली बार कंपनी का आईटीआर फाइल हुआ, रिटर्न्स, एनुअल रिटर्न्स फाइल किया था. जो एनुअल रिटर्न फाइलिंग में ईमेल आईडी देना पड़ता है. सो उसमें जो ईमेल आईडी दिया हुआ था, दैट info@adanigroup.com. सो किसी को पता नहीं था अडानी का कंपनी है, और कोई ध्यान भी नहीं दिया था उस टाइम. 2006 में ये मॉरिशियन कंपनी है, प्रोजेक्ट मॉनिटरिंग एंड कंस्ट्रक्शन. उसका जो होल्डिंग है इस कंपनी का, वो ट्रांसफर किया एक सिंगापुर कंपनी के नाम पे. सिंगापुर कंपनी का नाम था गुदामी इंटरनेशनल प्राइवेट लिमिटेड. एक गुदामी इंटरनेशनल प्राइवेट लिमिटेड बीच में बहुत इनफेमस हुआ था. अडानी के अगेंस्ट डायरेक्टरेट ऑफ रेवेन्यू इंटेलिजेंस का, DRI का 2-3 केस था पहले. पहला वाला 2007 में दर्ज हुआ था, दैट अडानी एंटरप्राइजेस लिमिटेड बनने से पहले कंपनी का नाम था अडानी एक्सपोर्ट्स लिमिटेड. सो उनका उस टाइम काम था, दे वर वेरी एक्टिव इन एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ कटन पॉलिश डायमंड्स, गोल्ड ज्वेलरी. सो इसमें वाजपेयी गवर्नमेंट के साथ एक स्कीम चला था, ऑफ कटन पॉलिश डायमंड्स, एक एक्सपोर्ट प्रमोशन स्कीम चला था. सो अडानी ग्रुप ने उस टाइम 5-6 कंपनियों का एक कार्टेल बना के उस स्कीम को मिसयूज करके हजारों करोड़ रुपया का घोटाला कर दिया. एक DRI का एक केस ये था. उसमें गुदामी इंटरनेशनल का नाम लिया था. उसमें बताया था गुदामी इंटरनेशनल एक्चुअली विनोद अडानी का कंपनी है, अडानी ग्रुप का कंपनी है. लेकिन अडानी ग्रुप ने कभी माना नहीं था, मना किया. सो ये PMC प्रोजेक्ट का ऑनरशिप गुदामी इंटरनेशनल सिंगापुर के में चला गया. नेक्स्ट ईयर का रिटर्न में फ्यू मंथ्स लेटर एक गुदामी इंटरनेशनल प्राइवेट PTE लिमिटेड, दैट्स अ सिंगापुर कंपनीज नेम, वो इसका जो होल्डिंग है इंडियन कंपनी, जो PMC प्रोजेक्ट्स इंडिया लिमिटेड प्राइवेट लिमिटेड का होल्डिंग है, उसको ट्रांसफर कर दिया गुदामी इंटरनेशनल मॉरिशस लिमिटेड में. सो मतलब वही ऑनरशिप सिंगापुर कंपनी का मॉरिशस में आ गया. 2005 से 2012 तक जो भी एनुअल रिटर्न्स भरा था, उसी में ईमेल आईडी हमेशा info@adanigroup.com ही रहा. 2012 से वो चेंज हो गया. 2012 में एक गुदामी इंटरनेशनल मॉरिशस लिमिटेड अपना नाम चेंज कर दिया PMC इंफ्रा लिमिटेड. सो तब भी हमें पता नहीं इसका ऑनरशिप किसका है. 2019 में गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया द कंपनीज एक्ट ऑफ 2013 अमेंड किया, इसका एक पोर्शन को अमेंड किया. वो अमेंडमेंट में बताया था दैट if a company is registered in India and if the holding is outside, the holding company is outside, उसमें जितना भी beneficial owners है उस कंपनी में, anybody who is holding more than 10% stake, 10% से ऊपर स्टेक किसी को कंपनी में है, so उसका नाम डिस्क्लोज करना चाहिए. So 2020 में ये PMC इंफ्रा लिमिटेड ने उसका ओनर का नाम फाइल किया. So Chinese name is slightly tough to pronounce. So for easy, we can say Maurice Chang. This Maurice Chang is a son of Chang Chung Ling. Chang Chung Ling has been Vinod Adani's business associate for many years. They have Chang Chung Ling was a director in many Adani Group companies in Singapore, Mauritius, and in Dubai. ये मैं नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, Enforcement Directorate ने बोला है. There are 3 cases of Enforcement Directorate. अभी 2 में तो clean chit मिल गया अडानी को, क्योंकि SESTAT, the Customs, Excise and Service Tax का जो appellate tribunal है, उन्होंने clean chit दिया. सुप्रीम कोर्ट, DRI को सुप्रीम कोर्ट जाना चाहिए था, सुप्रीम कोर्ट गया नहीं, और DRI को फर्दर इन्वेस्टिगेट करने के लिए फॉरेन कंट्री से एक परमिशन होता है, दैट लेटर रोगेटरी बोलते हैं उसको. मोदी गवर्नमेंट ने वो दिया ही नहीं, सो इन्वेस्टिगेशन ठप हो गया, अभी गया. सो नाउ अडानी कैन प्राउडली से आई एम क्लीन. ओके, सो व्हाई दिस इज प्रॉब्लमैटिक? जब मैंने लिखा था पहले, 2-3 दिन पहले उनका मॉरिस चैंग ने एक क्लैरिफिकेशन दिया दैट उनका मेरा पासपोर्ट में रिपब्लिक ऑफ चाइना लिखा है, बट आई एम अ ताइवानीज सिटीजन. बट देयर इज एन इश्यू. इन द एंटायर वर्ल्ड ओनली 14 कंट्रीज, ओनली 14 देश मानते हैं ताइवान को एक सेपरेट कंट्री के नाते. अदरवाइज ताइवान को एक सेपरेट कंट्री नहीं मानते हैं. ऑफिशियली इंडिया भी नहीं मानते. यूनाइटेड नेशन का कोई भी डॉक्यूमेंट आप ताइवान के बारे में देख लो, उसमें लिखा होगा दैट ताइवान इज प्रोविंस ऑफ चाइना. सो दैट्स हाउ दिस जेंटलमैन इज अ चाइनीज नेशनल. इसका एक और स्टोरी है. They were actually involved in Adani's partners, Adani Group's partners. They are actually involved in illegal trade. I broke a story on 2nd March this year. It's a very long story. My colleague Parunjoy was also there in that, and he was my co-author. In December 2017, or in the starting of January 2018, South Korea seized a tanker, ऑयल टैंकर, एक शिप जो पेट्रोलियम प्रोडक्ट्स कैरी करता है, उसको सीज किया, पकड़ा साउथ कोरिया. जो शिप का नाम था कोटी, KOTI. ये शिप का ओनर्स था कोटी कॉर्पोरेशन. एक कंपनी पनामा में रजिस्टर्ड था, लेकिन इसका जो एक्चुअल ओनर्स था, दे वर रजिस्टर्ड इन ताइवान. सो साउथ कोरिया का एलिगेशन ये था इस पे that this particular ship has been caught while transferring oil products to a North Korean tanker. एक North Korean tanker में इस ship से oil products transfer कर रहे थे, उसी वक्त पकड़ा था. The problem is North Korea is under international sanction. So any trade with North Korea without prior permission and more than the quantity UN permitted is considered illegal. So जब साउथ कोरिया एक शिप को पकड़ा था, 2020 में इस शिप को स्क्रैप किया गया. उससे पहले यूनाइटेड नेशन ने इस शिप और इसका जो कंपनी है उसके ऊपर सैंक्शन लगाया. ये कोटी कॉर्पोरेशन का ओनर्स है, जो डायरेक्टर्स है, they are Maurice Chang and his brother Norris Chang, the children of Vinod Adani's business partner Chang Chung Ling. And in the Hindenburg report, it says that Maurice Chang is Adani Group's Taiwan representative. So these are the people who are involved with Adani Group, who are indulged in illegal businesses like illicit transport, illicit business of trading petroleum or other products with a country in violation of UN sanctions. That's what we have written. Any question? Please feel free.
Any questions? नहीं तो मेरे पास तो questions बहुत हैं. हाँ, परवेज भाई बोलिए. नहीं तो अब ये तो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया से पूछना पड़ेगा।
Sir, I'm a journalist. Your guess is as good as mine. So the thing is that why government of India is not acting, that is for, the political people to ask.
अब ये तो मैं मतलब आई विल नायर साहब, ये तो सरकार को लेना पड़ेगा एक्शन। हिज जॉब और माय जॉब इज जस्ट टू टेल दिस, वी आर नॉट गवर्नमेंट, नंबर वन। मैं एक चीज और कर लूं रवि नायर साहब, आपसे पूछ लूं, ये जो इसलिए इंपॉर्टेंट है, ये चैंग चुंग लिंग जो है, ही इज चाइनीज। मॉरिस चैंग क्लेम्स टू बी अ ताइवानी, बट चैंग चुंग लिंग इज चाइनीज और मेनलैंड चाइना।
Even otherwise. See, as long as the government of India doesn't recognize Taiwan as a separate country, they are Chinese. Officially, they are Chinese.
नहीं, ये थोड़ा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है। अब इसमें एक क्वेश्चन ये है रवि नायर साहब, अदर देन व्हाट सरकार को क्या, व्हाट इज द प्रॉब्लम? अगर कोई चीनी आके हमारे यहाँ व्यापार कर रहा है, तो I'm asking because on behalf of a lot of people, what is the problem? क्या दिक्कत है?
The issue is this PMC project doesn't have a website now. अभी इनका कोई वेबसाइट नहीं है. So 2012 में इन्होंने जो इनका IT रिटर्न्स में इनका ईमेल आईडी चेंज किया था, उसमें इन्होंने info@pmcprojects.com कर दिया था. So मतलब pmcprojects.com में एक है, एक वेबसाइट था कभी. So हमने वेब आर्काइव्स में चला गया, उधर ढूंढना शुरू किया और हमें साइट मिल गया. अब उसमें जितना भी देख लो, this company claims that they developed the Mundra port. Adani operates around 14 ports now across India. So out of that, almost all the major projects, it's Mundra, Dahej, Vaisak, Marmagaon. So bahut sare. See, these ports are actually considered as strategic assets for any country. And this company claims they developed railway lines, they developed power transmission lines for Adani, from consultation and drawing to implementation. And they even the grain silos, जो Food Corporation India के लिए Adani आजकल silos बना रहा है, they're claiming that they even made that, they're making that for Adani Group. So now, when a Chinese company or a company owned by Chinese nationals are so deeply involved in our strategic assets, in our country's strategic assets, that raises some uncomfortable questions. 2022 जनवरी में मुंबई का जवाहरलाल नेहरू पोर्ट ट्रस्ट, उसका एक टर्मिनल प्राइवेटाइज करने के लिए एक टेंडर बुलाया था. उस टेंडर में एक कंसोर्शियम, एक ताइवानीज कंपनी का और एक इंडिया में बख्शी ग्रुप था, फिर ताइवानीज कंपनी, फिर एक नीदरलैंड कंपनी, वन ऑफ द लार्जेस्ट टर्मिनल ऑपरेटर्स इन द वर्ल्ड. इन्होंने एक कंसोर्शियम बनाया 3 कंपनियों का. इनका टेंडर रिजेक्ट किया क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया इनको सिक्योरिटी क्लियरेंस नहीं दिया. द रीजन व्हाट द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया सेड वाज दैट जो ये ताइवानीज कंपनी है, उसमें एक डायरेक्टर, ताइवानीज कंपनी का एक डायरेक्टर एक चाइनीज कंपनी में भी डायरेक्टर है. If that is a security threat, then Chinese nationals are directly involved in Adani companies, and this Changchung Ling is a director in many Chinese companies. So how, when it comes to Adani Group's businesses, why the government is not answering, the involvement of a Chinese company and Chinese nationals in India's strategic assets? That's the question. No, nobody answered. Yes, sir.
Just to juxtapose it, most of the semiconductor industries in Taiwan, they are also, with your logic, a Chinese company. They may not be a Taiwanese company. So, if Adani has got some partners from Taiwan, which is deemed to be from China, how is it risky?
No, that's what exactly I'm saying. Even if I agree with you for a minute that these are Taiwanese nationals, not Chinese, that they are directors in many Chinese companies. The Coty Corporation, the company which operated that ship, the tanker, which was sanctioned by sanctioned by UN and scrapped by South Korea. The Panama's company, the Panama was the flag. The ship was have a Panama flag and registered in Panama. The ownership was in Taiwan. This Taiwanese company's ownership was in China. So they have close directorship in many Chinese companies. This is the same reason the government of India has given to not to give the security clearance for that consortium which bid for the JNPT tender.
What are the direct threats? What are the direct threats to India? What are the losses we are facing?
In the case of direct threat, couple of years ago in Mumbai, there was a power cut. A couple of years ago in Mumbai, the electricity failed. Electricity supply to the 2 years back, the entire Mumbai came to a standstill, and it went on for nearly 2 days. Okay, the then power ministers of the state officially said, and it's there in public domain, that Chinese hackers hacked the system and the grid and disrupted the power. Yes, yes, data loss. No. I'm saying generally that person is. I have no proof to say that, so I won't say. I'm sorry. Sir, I am not suggesting anything. I am suggesting if the government of India can ban TikTok being a Chinese product, all right, when it comes to serious issues, when it comes to Adani's issues, the government is silent on being his Chinese partners. That's the only thing I am saying, sir. Sir, actually, these kind of stories, it takes a lot of time. This actually takes a lot of these kind of investigations, takes a lot of time, patience. It needs a lot of patience and persistence. In today's news media, what happens is there's a shelf life for every news. For every day, new news comes. So people just go behind that. So that is why proper investigative journalism is not happening. But still, there are people who are doing some wonderful work.
नहीं मैं देखिए मैं एक बहुत नहीं जर्नलिज्म की बात बताता हूँ. हमारा ही कोई भाई बंधु कहीं करता है, आदित्य बैठे हुए हैं, सब लोग मीडिया से हैं हम लोग. हमें शर्म आती है जब हमारे ही जैसे हमारे घर पे बैठ के मेरा ही कोई भाई या मेरी बीवी या मेरी बच्ची ये इंतजार करती है कि अब अतीक का लाइव एनकाउंटर मुझे दिख जाएगा. मजा नहीं आया, दिखा नहीं. मतलब दिन भर वेस्ट हुआ, दिन भर बैठे रहे, अब 10 घंटे टीवी के सामने, इनकाउंटर हुआ नहीं. तो
No, sir. It took almost 2.5 months.
So, what roadblocks?
I'll tell you. So here Anand Vardhanji said that Indian work took almost 2.5 years to research. if you read the Hindenburg research report and if you read what my colleague Paranjoy Guha Thakur, Abir Das Gupta, a couple of others like M. Rajshekhar, Aruna Chandrasekhar, what we have written, and especially I and Paranjoy and Abir, you will see 70% of the Hindenburg report. One of the major allegations in Hindenburg report was that a group of companies owned by Adani Group, based in tax havens like Mauritius, Singapore, Dubai, Cyprus, and all, they sent money, and a group of FPIs, foreign portfolio investors, who park money only in the Adani Group. That's one of the major allegations in Hindenburg research report, and that is why they are saying that Adani is artificially inflating the share prices of the group companies. It will be slightly technical, but I'll explain you. The foreign portfolio investors, whenever they invest in India at least, even anywhere in the world for that matter, they will never park their money in one business group. It never happens like that, because the investment managers are responsible people. They are answerable to their investors, because these are not small amounts. These are thousands of crores, right? But there are 7-8 companies which invested heavily in Adani Group. When we say heavily in Adani Group, of these companies, these FPIs invested from 89% to 98.7% in Adani Group companies. That's normally unseen. It never happens like that. So we started to investigate these companies. It's way back in 2021 starting. And in 2021 July, I published a series of articles based on this. What I found out was that almost 5 or 6 of these FPIs have the same address, same phone number and fax number. They operate from the same building. It's all same. Its ownership through a chain of and web of companies, opaque web, reaches it to one entity, जो British Virgin Island में registered है. It's called Monte Rosa International Holding Limited, MIH Limited. So British Virgin Island is a very notorious tax haven. उधर से details मिलना मुश्किल है. But we got the links that this company is this company has links with Jatin Mehta. आप नाम सुना होगा. Jatin Mehta is a fugitive. Almost $1 billion Indian and foreign banks को डायमंड ट्रेड में घोटाला करके करीब $1 billion का चूना लगाया and गायब हो गया. Now he is living luxuriously in UK, and Standard Chartered Bank and Grant Thornton filed case. Indian banks अभी भी किया नहीं है, but Standard Chartered ने case file कर दिया. So now he's fighting the case in Britain. The second link is that Sandesh Aras, another Gujarati business family, जो Indian banks को चूने लगा के भाग गया था. Their money is also, it's linked, has links to these FPIs. So when these articles came out, Mahua Moitra, the TMC MP, raised these issues in Parliament. So the then Minister of State for Finance given a written reply in July, 19 July 2021, I suppose. Somewhere in July 2021, that SEBI is investigating these allegations, and DRI is also investigating certain aspects and the dealings of Adani companies' offshore entities. अभी 1.5 साल के बाद हिंडनबर्ग रिसर्च का रिपोर्ट आया. अभी भी पार्लियामेंट बोल रहा है, गवर्नमेंट बोल रहा है सेबी इज इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग. सो सेबी इज नाउ इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग. जो पहले इन्वेस्टिगेट कर रहा था उसका रिपोर्ट कहाँ है? उस इन्वेस्टिगेशन का रिजल्ट क्या निकला? डीआरआई इन्वेस्टिगेट कर रहा था, उसका रिजल्ट कहाँ है, रिपोर्ट कहाँ है? And to you, sir, the roadblock you are asked, these things, these documents are not easily available in public domain. Many times it will be available in public domain, but it's not easy to access. For example, when FPIs are registered in India, it's a mandatory clause that all the significant beneficial owners or ultimate beneficial owners name should be there with SEBI. So जब Mahua Moitra raised this question in the parliament, जब मिनिस्टर उसका जवाब दिया था, उसमें almost 300-400 FPIs and foreign portfolio investors and foreign institutional investors का नाम दिया था. उसमें जो ये alleged companies है, this shady companies, उसमें एक में भी ultimate beneficial owners का नाम है नहीं. हमने बहुत ढूंढा. Then we used there's a method called legal entity identification. That's a global registry. So उनके एक data bank है. Nobody which tried before this, and I tried with that. I was lucky. I got certain details. So for many of this, Switzerland national called Alastair Guggenbull Ivan has been shown as the registered owner, but not officially. And this Alastair Guggenbull's name was involved for tax evasion or helping heavy, ultra rich business people or ultra rich individuals or the family houses to help them do money laundering and tax evasion. And his name was mentioned in Panama Papers. Probably, I mean, we still don't know who are the ultimate beneficial owners, but Guggenbull even is the man who is helping the ultimate beneficial owners. Yes. The first thing is Hindenburg alleges accounting fraud. The second thing is Adani companies, this is the allegation what they are raising. The Adani Group companies' share prices are artificially hyped, it's rigged. So how to do this? As per the regulation, if a company is listed in the share market, that is SEBI, under SEBI, BSE and NSE, up to 3 years, owners can hold more than 75% stake in the company. They have to gradually reduce it, and 75% is the limit. So if you look at, that is, if a company is listed with the share market, that is SEBI, under SEBI, it is NSE and BSE, the promoter group's holding shouldn't be more than 75%. Okay? Yeah. So it shouldn't be more than 75% after 3 years. If we look at Adani Group companies, the promoter holding is at brim, like 74.8%, 74.9%. It was like that. Now slightly reduced in a couple of companies because when after Hindenburg allegation, GQG partners invested, they have bought the shares. So the ownership, the promoter group's shares were sold. Otherwise, the promoter holding was at brim. Hindenburg says the FPIs which I've investigated are actually Adani FPIs, Adani's own FPIs. So if that is the case, the FPI holding put together in almost all the Adani companies, it comes anywhere between 12 to 18%, right? So if, let us say it is 15%, right? So if 75 plus 15, 90% wohi ho gaya, right? Then the other institutional investors, mutual funds, everything. So these are the entities which won't trade every day. What comes to the retail market? I mean, it's called free float. So what is the actual free float? So Hindenburg says that in Adani Group companies, actual free float is less than 3%. That is very minimal. So that is why shares are not easily available on everyday basis. That's why the prices go up. That's, in a way, it's rigging, creating an artificial scarcity to jack up the price. That is a major allegation.
How much money did Hindenburg make in this?
No idea, sir. They didn't offer me anything.
But so there is a Supreme Court monitored probe. That's one. A hypothetical question: if something like this will happen in states.
First of all, the government would have investigated it. It actually happened when Hindenburg themselves exposed companies. SEC, they order investigation, and if any criminality proved, then of course they'll be inside and the penalty. That will be huge in millions of dollars or billions of dollars.
That's a government order.
Yes.
It's still on.
There are a couple of cases they have, Hindenburg was correct. It was proved after the investigation. Hindenburg was proven right. Here, the Supreme Court monitored the investigation right now, that is on the regulatory aspect of it, not SEBI's regulatory aspects and how it can be tightened. That is what they are looking at.
Ask your question. So is there any kind of restraint on Hindenburg in US?
No. No. They did another expose a couple of weeks ago.
Nahi, Ravi, also in an old Hindenburg for the first exposure, the concerned company was penalized by the US court and they had to had to deposit around 500 million US dollars.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
हाँ मेरे ख्याल में not more than that. मतलब we will finish in another 15-20. अच्छा एक आप वो भी कर दीजिए because Prananjay दा नहीं आए हैं. So if you can explain how he had a Mr. Prananjay Gora Tata का आना था, his tickets are booked. He had a bad stomach.
Yeah, Dada had a stomach infection. We were about to come together and to see you all together, but didn't happen. He had a stomach infection out of the blue last night and rushed to the hospital. I spoke to him in the morning. He's out of hospital, but he's very weak and tired. He's 67-year-old and he never sits idle. He's always on the move, looking for stories. So that's why he couldn't make it.
We are slightly touchy on the age issue because 67, I mean ऐसा कुछ नहीं है भाई, young है. ये आप थोड़ा personal हम लोग इसको we will take it very personally.
I'll say that. I mean, he's like a mentor to me, and I'm very close to him. So it's a personal this thing for me.
Anything?
They are exposing various investigative reports in the public domain, but they are being prosecuted by the respective courts probably. So, as per the your report, like whatever you are planning in economic growth of particular country, and as well as economic development. So why the investors like you have exposure now through your books and through your research, why our investors of India, why they are not investing in India to promote the small scale businesses, and inflation is also going very higher across the country, and the material products are very higher. So
What is the question?
Why my main question is why our investors like they are just choosing X havens globally.
What is your question? It's still the question is not. The problems we all know. What is the exact question? आप पूछना क्या चाहते हैं?
Not investing in India.
नहीं, they are.
Business people invest when the market is good. Okay. If you look at the capital expenditure of private business groups in India in last 5-6 years, it's very bleak. It's not grown as it should have been. If, as the government say, sab changa si, so it should have grown. The capital expenditure of private business group, a lot of commitments happen. Like in UP investment, this investment summit happens, and these many billions or these many trillions.
32 lakh crores. 32 lakh crores.
But actually, if you look at how much will come, I did a story many years ago. I accessed some documents, and in Gujarat, Vibrant Gujarat Summit, that was one of the first investment summits started. What? Vibrant Gujarat Summit is one of the first investment summits started by a state
In the country.
government.
In the country.
Yeah, by a state government in India.
नहीं 2002 में तो ये गोधरा के बाद की स्टोरी है सर. There is a relationship between Godhra and Vibrant Gujarat. Not the time to this. It was
actually started. Yes,
हाँ,
2003
just
started.
गोधरा के को कवर अप करने के लिए भी ऐसा कहा जाता है कि
It actually started because in the CIA meeting in Delhi, when Mr. Modi came to Delhi. Yeah.
तो गुजरात रहे थे और that was the time, Ravi Nair sir, if I can add to it, when the CIA backed out and then a parallel body by Mr. Adani was floated.
No, CIA didn't back out.
What happened there?
Mr. Modi came to Delhi and he was addressing the CIA. So Mr. Rahul Bajaj asked Modi, Mr. Modi, that this is the kind of law and order in your state under your rule. So what kind of confidence you are trying to give us? So Mr. Modi got upset and he walked off. So Nirmas Kasanbhai Patel and Mr. Gautam Adani and few other businessmen, Gujarati businessmen, formed a rival body in Gujarat. That is how this Vibrant Gujarat Summit started. It's from there, 2000. This happened as the CIA saga happened in 2002, but Vibrant Gujarat Summit started in 2003. If you look at the total commitment of over all these years happened in Vibrant Gujarat Summit, and if you look at the actual investment, it's less than 2.6%.
The commitment and the actual.
Yeah,
the commitment
and the actual investment. It's less than 2.6%. I think I had the data up to 2019. After that, I don't know if it's gone up or not. So, private investment in India is going bleak. Now, government has come up with many things like PLI, performance-linked incentive schemes. Then, for many sectors, government support with viability cap funding. But still, it's not going up because consumer sentiment in the country is very weak now. That is why. And major investments are happening only on the infrastructure area. So there is one more aspect to it. If you look at Adani Group's major businesses, all are in the infrastructure area. Most of them, not all, most. They planned a lot of investment. When they floated this FPO follow-on offer in January, which got cancelled. Yeah. And that, out of the 20,000, nearly 4,500 crore, 4,500 crore, the offer document says, or they're in public domain, that Adani Group itself said that around 4,500 crore rupees they need for the development of airports, including Lucknow Airport. They're operating 7 airports now, right? That 4,500 they didn't get. So Adani Group operates 14 ports, 7 airports, 80, the eighth one is under construction, right? From where they're going to raise the money to develop this.
Are they not operating for railway stations too?
No, railway rakes, sir, to transport grains. It's railway rakes. And they have a private railway line in Mundra, that's for transportation of coal.
Railway infra, and that the Chinese company is handling that part. That railway infra development of the railway infra company. One more thing, Jatin Mehta is related to Adani ji.
Yeah, Jatin Mehta's son is married to Vinod Adani's daughter.
मैं आप लोग से भी एक चीज समझ, अब जैसे हम लोग के नहीं, मैं एक चीज समझ नहीं पाया हूं आज तक. ये बहुत होता है कि घर में मान लीजिए किसी की उधार बाकी है, कुछ बाकी है, तो आदमी दे के कहता है खत्म करो. ये 7-8-10 हजार करोड़ दे के खत्म करते, ससुर की को आने देते हिंदुस्तान. मतलब मेरे पास इसका आंसर नहीं है. नायर साहब, वाई भाई 8,000 करोड़ एक मतलब 5 लाख करोड़ वाले आदमी के लिए उसका अपना समधी है, समाज में घूमता है, लोग कहते हैं कि तुम्हारा समधी चोरी करके भाग गया. Why they don't give that 8,000 rupees? Let him come back.
I don't want to comment on that. But I'll tell you another example how the Indian government, the Narendra Modi government, promote Adani Group. I'll give an example. In 2020, many labor unions and trade unions in Sri Lanka started a protest. And it became a major protest that Colombo Port's operation was closed for 3 days. Colombo Port is one of the major ports in South Asia. And it's considered as one of the largest ports in the world itself. Its operations. The reason was the trade unions alleged that Rajapaksa government is giving one terminal, which was almost 40%, 38-40% constructed. Rajapaksa government is giving that terminal to the Adani Group without inviting a tender. That was the allegation. So we started to investigate. And then we found out that the port ministers of that time in June 2020 and in October 2020 submitted 2 cabinet memorandums to the parliament, Sri Lankan parliament. And I managed to get the copies of that. It clearly states, one was signed by, the first time, it was Justin Fernando, he was the Minister for Ports and Shipping. And second time it was Rohita Abhay Gunawardena. It clearly states the government of India officially recommended Adani Group as India's official representative to develop this port terminal. Who is Adani for Mr. Modi's government to officially recommend him?
So what's wrong in that?
Why we don't we have government companies? Don't we have government companies? Don't we have government companies? Why didn't the government recommend the name? So let me complete. Why didn't the government recommend JNPT? Why didn't the government recommend the Concord?
But can I come?
Yeah, please.
At a time when the government is trying to promote private enterprise, and most of your public sector undertakings are on the back burner. So at that juncture, recommending a particular company, not Adani, I'm saying, is it something right or wrong? That is what my question.
It is wrong. For the reason is there, I mean, if they have to promote private investment anyway, then why only Adani?
Is it ethically wrong or legally wrong? Both.
It's ethically, morally, and legally wrong.
Yes. Give me the legal aspect.
The first thing is, the government, Indian government shouldn't have pressurized the Sri Lankan government to give this port terminal to a Indian private entity without inviting a tender.
That's a Sri Lankan law, right?
That's Sri Lankan. And Sri Lankan government fell into this pressure.
Talk about Indian law.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm coming into. Sri Lankan government came under pressure because the economy was falling apart and the Sri Lankan government was looking for a line of credit from India. So it was linked.
And when they gave the contract to that,
Mhm.
what process?
They didn't. So I mean, then what happened was the that port terminal, the unions didn't allow to go to Adani. If Adani has to invest, let invest from the scratch. Why something in Sri Lankan people's money, 40% has been constructed with Sri Lankan taxpayers' money?
About the legal part. No, I will add. When Indian government gives association it mandates that the constructing company should be an Indian one. That's all. It doesn't mention any specific. So this should have been mentioned that the company which will operate or which will construct will be an Indian.
So this line of credit was not for the project.
This is the standard procedure.
So this line of credit was not for the project. This line of credit was to tie up Sri Lanka's external debt problem.
I agree. What I'm saying is, the government recommendation should have been only that the Indian company will be here. That's all. Not specific, not company specific. Not specific.
That happens. See, I mean, in many cases, in many cases, when Indian government helps foreign governments and for particular projects, the Indian government insists in writing that it should be an Indian company. They won't name it.
नहीं राजीव, उनका क्वेश्चन फर्क है. वो कह रहा उसमें सिर्फ वर्मा साहब ये है कि how you selected Adani. That is the only question. There has to नहीं एक मिनट legally मैं बोल रहा हूँ ना, legally why Sudhanshu was not selected, why Kamlesh, there has to be a criteria. आप वो criteria यही तो है ना, किस basis पे?
I told you from Sri Lankan point of view that the Sri Lankan government forced. I didn't say that it was legally incorrect in India. I said no. I'm not saying that. I'm not agreeing. I'm saying it was morally, ethically, legally incorrect. Legally incorrect. Yeah, if Indian government wanted to recommend a private company, Indian government should have invited it. Sir, please listen. Indian government should have invited a tender. Okay, Indian government should have invited a tender, finalized the party, and that name should have been given to Sri Lanka. That is how it works. Because, sir, government works on public money, not with Adani's money. When government gives something,
I believe that ethically it is wrong. I believe that. I'm asking about.
even legally also it is wrong, sir.
Tell me where. Okay.
So,
Also, right to equality.
exactly, I was about to come to that. Sir, how many companies are registered in India? No, not vague, sir.
Why are we talking about equality? It is a decision to be taken by a foreign government, which is depending on you where you are in the economic crisis. And in such a situation, you are telling the foreign government that you please give this contract to
So and so entity.
So it is ethically wrong. I mean, legally.
नहीं सुधांशु, लीगली का जो मेरी समझ है, लीगली आप ए कंपनी को व्हाट वाज द क्राइटेरिया ऑफ नेमिंग ए कंपनी, यू टेल मी दैट, क्योंकि लीगली आपका कोई तो प्रोसेस होगा.
No, sir.
Who will that? No,
That's
why
what I'm
best?
saying.
What was the criteria that it was the best?
That's what I'm saying.
Ravi sir,
I access the copy of the cabinet memorandum of Sri Lankan government, which clearly states Indian government officially recommended the name of Adani Group. It very clearly states, I published it. They might have given, I mean, government might have given in writing, which we don't have.
जस्ट
One more question.
सुधांशु नहीं, एक मिनट, ये इंपॉर्टेंट इसलिए है कि जैसे मैं बता दूं इसको लीगल जामा कैसे पहनाया जाता है। अभी 25 इसके कोल ब्लॉक्स के टेंडर हुए थे अबाउट 15-20 डेज बैक। उसमें से 4 कोल ब्लॉक्स अडानी जी को मिले। कोल ब्लॉक्स में जब टेंडर किए गए थे तो उनका एक मिनिमम 2 चीजें थी। एक तो ये था कि देयर शुड बी अ मिनिमम ऑफ 2 कंपनीज, बिडर 2 होने चाहिए। पहले 3 था, फिर उसको अब 2 कर दिया गया कि मिनिमम 2 बिडर हो, नहीं तो सिंगल बिड पे नहीं होगा। तो जो अडानी जी को जहां जहां टेंडर मिले वहां केवल 2 बिड थे, और वो दूसरा बिडर का भी एड्रेस वही था जो अडानी जी का था। एक नहीं, और सिर्फ यही खत्म नहीं हुआ, सुनिए, ये नहीं, ये यही खत्म नहीं हुआ, और आगे सुन लीजिए। जो बिड का डॉक्यूमेंट रहता है उसमें था कि मिनिमम 3%। अब क्या शेयरिंग क्या होती है, कोल बॉक्स की शेयरिंग समझ लीजिए। जो रॉयल्टी मिलती है वो शेयरिंग बोला जाता है कि मैंने तो आपको दे दिया ब्लॉक 25 साल के लिए या 99 साल के लीज के लिए, मुझे सरकार को क्या मिलेगा? तो सरकार को कहते हैं कि वी विल गिव यू दिस मच, वो कोट करते हैं। तो मिनिमम वॉज 3% से आपको शुरू करना है। यू हैव टू स्टार्ट फ्रॉम मिनिमम 3%। तो अगर 2 होनी है, अच्छा, और प्राइस बिड जो है वो 0.5 के रेशियो में ही बढ़ेगा। मतलब अगर पहला
मिनिमम 3.5 से शुरू कर रहा है, 3 बेस प्राइस है। हाँ, सो आपको फर्स्ट ऑफर रखना है तो 3.5 से रखना है।
नहीं, एक्चुअली वो बोलते हैं 3, तो आपको 3.5 से कम कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता है। और उसको आपको 3, अब जो बाकी कंपनीज थी जिनको इन 4 को छोड़ के जो मिला है, किसी को 60% पे मिला है, किसी को 30%, एवरेज 25 और 26% है।
22.5% का एवरेज आता है।
एवरेज आता है जो बाकी 24-25 कंपनी, इन भाई साहब को 4.5% एंड 5% पे मिला। तो ये ज्ञान हो सकता है, ये ज्ञान उनके चक्षु भाई भगवान ने ऊपर से आके बता दिया कि इसको ऐसे ऐसे कर दो, वो ठीक है। लेकिन ये लीगली ये करेक्ट वे था जो उनको मिल गया कि भगवान ने आके बताया कि 3.5 और 4 और एक ही कंपनी से कर लो। लेकिन टेंडर होना जरूरी है, बिना टेंडर के अगर आप दे रहे हैं, वही बात इसमें भी आई थी जो रफाल की बात हम लोगों ने नहीं शुरू की। अनिल अंबानी को ऑन व्हाट बेसिस ही वाज रिकमेंडेड, दैट इज द होल केस। आप एचएल को आपने अपने किनारे रख के आपने अनिल अंबानी को आगे कर दिया, जो ऐसा व्यक्ति जिसने देश के लिए शर्म की बात की है कि इंग्लैंड में जाकर कहता है कि मैं तो दिवालिया हूं, और किसके सामने? चीन के सामने। तो चीन तो कहीं अकेले मिलेगा तो कहेगा ना कि बड़े यार लोग तुम रखे हुए, कैसे कैसे बिजनेसमैन तुम्हारे यहाँ है, साली दिवालिया तुम्हारे यहाँ के बिजनेसमैन है, ये चीन नहीं कहेगा। भाई अकेले जब मिलते होंगे हमारे देश के बड़े लोग तो कहते नहीं होंगे क्या यार वो दिवालिया है, चोर, हमारे यहाँ का पैसा लेके गया, अच्छा लगता होगा।
You spoke about the PSUs, public sector undertakings. If you look at the major PSUs, they're one of the largest taxpayers in the country, and they pay huge amount as dividends every year, right? You know that Adani, months ago, he was the 3rd richest man in the world. But if you look at India's top 15 taxpayers, Adani's name was not there.
Adani's name is also not there. Within the
नहीं, अंबानी का है, अंबानी का है।
legal framework, it was not the
And none of his companies were also not there.
Another 5 minutes, हम लोग खत्म करेंगे 5 मिनट में।
tax mixing it was all notional. What is
That actually, no, that is right. I mean, when he said that, why, I mean, PSUs are not good. So, I mean, just connecting that.
what is the
It is national wealth. It was 100% national wealth.
what is the ethos of public sector? Public sector is not supposed to accumulate funds. They are supposed to distribute. They are for the society.
That is what I'm saying. So, see, only sector, sir, only sector which are investing, spending on capex is only public sector. NTPC is investing. NTPC came into renewable energy now, right? They are investing vastly.
I have to ask you a question.
On public sector,
Public sector versus private sector, what will your development of India, what will
I haven't calculated that, sir.
there is no versus, yeah.
I haven't calculated.
Shed some light on the GVK.
We can say that if you give me 5-6 minutes, I can say the entire story of airport. Yeah. In around 18th, around July 2018, the PMO asked Ministry of Civil Aviation to privatize 6 airports of AAI. That was Lucknow, Jaipur, Ahmedabad, Guwahati, Trivandrum, and Mangalore. The first interesting thing is, it should have been recommended by the Civil Aviation Ministry, and Cabinet should have met. It should have approved by the Cabinet, then the decision should have been taken. Here, the minutes of the meeting clearly state as recommended by PMO. So PMO recommended for the privatization. Then by November, group of secretaries were appointed to study about it and give the report. And the empowered group of secretaries met on a couple of occasions. First on 8th December, second on 10th December. On the 10th December meeting, Niti Aayog, which always support the government and which is the main think tank of this government and its schemes, opposed few recommendations, like all airports should not go to, Niti Aayog said, all the airports should not go to a single entity or a single business group. Second, they said that normally when before this airports were privatized, the tenure was 30 years. In this case, it has been increased to 50 years. That shouldn't be there. Third opposition was that at the end of the tenure, if the concessionaire had to give this back, saying that the group of secretaries recommendation suggests that the operator on that time, the AAI on that time, pay the depreciated value of the assets developed by the operator to take it back. So Niti Aayog opposed it. Not only Niti Aayog and Ministry of Finance, Department of Economic Affairs and Ministry of Finance and Niti Aayog, they had the same set of objections in all these matters. Now, one more objection was there that actually I forgot. It was again a serious one like this, like giving this. But the group of secretaries did not accept any of this thing, so they went on the majority. And on 14th December, they invited the tender. It was in 2018. 2019, 25th February, tender opened and all 6 airports went to Adani Group. Now, which I forgot was, when Mumbai and Delhi airport were privatized, AAI used to get a revenue share model. One is in 36 and another is 26. 26 for Mumbai, 36 for Delhi. And if you look at AAI balance sheets and annual reports, that's a major income because 2 big airports. And these 6 airports, which was decided to privatize, they were the 6 airports which were making actually profits for Airport Authority of India. So out of the total 8 airports which were making profit, which was under Delhi and Mumbai, of course, it's already private. So the other 6 airports which were making profit was getting privatized. For this round, the empowered group of secretaries decided that the bidder should give per passenger fee. Per passenger fee, you quote, for every passenger using the airport, you will pay this much money to the government, not the revenue. Here what happens? The operator always charge a user fee for the airports. Now, for Lucknow Airport, Adani already submitted that the user charges will approximately go up by not 500 times, 500%. Yeah, it will go up by 500%. So that means the concessionaire, they don't have to actually share the revenue. And if suppose if Adani said that he will pay 150 rupees for every passenger using Lucknow Airport, and if he charges 300 rupees from every passenger, he's still earning from that also. And he has all the commercial rights. He has the aeronautical revenue. He is handling the cargo, right? So Ministry of Finance and Niti Aayog strongly opposed these aspects, but koi mana nahi. Now, this Mumbai airport was owned by a consortium of 3 companies. One was, of course, GVK. They had the majority stake. The second was Bidwest. It was a South African company. And third was a company, a subsidiary of this Bidwest, which was registered in Mauritius. So they were the consortium. The stake was that the small company was having 13% stake. 51 was with GVK, and the rest was with the South African airport operator. So Adani was trying to take this 13% and the South African bit. But the problem was, in the master agreement which they signed in 2006 while privatizing this airport, the majority stakeholder as GVK, they had the first right of refusal. So GVK utilized it. And it so Adani convinced the other two partners to sell their stake to Adani, and they were ready. But when GVK resisted it, it went into arbitration. It went on for almost 1.5 to 2 years. Then from there, it went into courts. Mumbai High Court, one party in Delhi High Court, and it reached Supreme Court. Out of the blue, some whistleblower wrote to Ministry of Finance that there are a lot of financial irregularities happening in the GVK, and the serious fraud investigation started. SFIO started investigation into GVK group. Then one fine morning, income tax raided GVK and its directors. Then CBI followed the raid, and CBI also filed a case. 2 months down the line, GVK agreed to sell the stake, 51% stake to Adani Group. So if you ask me now, what happened to those cases of GVK, I have no clue. I've never heard about that after this. No, Adani operates Mumbai, that's the largest. Yes, that is with, but what happened was, with Calcutta and Chennai, Airport Authority of India is developing and they're investing a lot of money. So most of the income which is coming into it, it is going in capex.
GVK story is almost like a Bollywood movie.
It actually is. It actually is.
Why can't we decide in that status?
You are free to do that, sir. Nobody is stopping you.
We close this now. Anything else? Sandeep bhai. अच्छा नहीं अच्छा इसको हाँ 1 मिनट में इसको फिर बंद कर दूंगा कैंपेन को लाइव में मैं नहीं करूंगा ठीक है अरे वो फिर हमारे दिक्कत होती है थैंक यू सुधांशु फॉर दिस प्लेस और नहीं और चाय और समोसा भी है भैया सब चाय नहीं समोसा है कि नहीं
थैंक यू फॉर इनवाइटिंग मी एंड गिविंग मी दिस
कोई छोटा बड़ा कोई समोसा हो थैंक यू सो मच एंड मिस्टर नायर थैंक यू फॉर कमिंग टू लखनऊ एंड
थैंक यू फॉर इनवाइटिंग एंड थैंक यू फॉर गिविंग दिस प्लेटफॉर्म थैंक यू वेरी मच